We posted
We
a
posted a
long
video.
form video under 60 seconds. That is this interesting conversation that this man and woman are having. So the main question that we posed was, does keeping a secret account from your spouse in case of divorce mean you are not fully committed? So in this video, the husband approaches his wife about he received a statement that she had $22,000 in a separate account that he knew nothing about. And he approaches her about that. And she goes to say, well, I have to make sure I'm good just in case basically we get divorced and I leave.
Yeah.
And from the understanding of the clip, she was pulling the money out of a joint account that they had.
Wow.
So with that being said, Rhonda, what is your opinion on, does that mean, let's answer the question first. Does keeping a secret account from your spouse in case of divorce mean you are not fully committed? Go.
I think so. Yeah, I'm leaning much more towards yes, mainly because it's a secret. Mainly because you're hiding it. You're putting money in there and you're hiding that bank account from them. And the reason why you're hiding it, just in case, right? Like, yes, of course, there's a possibility that your relationship might not work out, but to function in that energy, it just, to me, brings bad juju to your relationship. I think hiding money from your spouse is not okay. I think if you want to have separate money from your spouse, y'all should have that conversation.
Yeah.
And you should be prepared to explain a reason that is not in case you leave me as to why you want to keep some money saved off to the side. Now, if you all do wind up separating or divorcing, you have that account, it's yours. And if you now need to use it because you're getting a divorce, then cool. But perhaps you say, and I don't want to say you're lying. Don't because I think that's what this is sounding like.
Yeah.
But if you want to keep a separate account, sometimes it's because you just want to maintain your own savings. If it was your money, like that's the second part of why this situation is so bad, because girl, how you going to take the money out the joint account that you're not the only one contributing to? So you're using some of his money to stack in your account. So is it ours or yours? It's blurring the lines too much. So I just think her whole approach was just not good. And it's no way for him to not take away from it what he took away from it. And for everybody who's saying it's a skit, okay, fine. Even if it is a skit, it's a real situation.
Yeah, regular relationships deal with that.
Absolutely. So regardless of if this is real or not, this is a real issue that comes up. And so, yeah, I would be very bothered to find out that my husband was hiding money from me in case we got divorced.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. First, I'll say you always have to be careful of what you introduce into a relationship because it's hard to knock those emotions and feelings once something is introduced. So the moment that he addressed her about this, as soon as she said, I'm doing this to make sure I'm good, basically in case we get divorced, now what will always be in that man's head is that if anything happens, if things get too rough in the relationship, that you might be looking to bounce.
Yeah.
Like that you are already thinking about leaving and maybe I feel like we good and you thinking about leaving.
Sure.
What if things get a little rough? What if I lose my job? What if we don't agree on something? Like, are you just going to bounce on me now?
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel like that feels, from the other side of it. So you have to be careful when you're introducing certain things into your relationship. But also, I think it's the amount too, because for most average American couples, $22,000 is a lot of money. So to know that you have that just stacked away, not for us to build together,
right,
but for some future scenario to where you possibly don't want to be with me.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yep.
We're here right now in the present.
Yeah.
We could be wanting to get a house. And imagine, how things go in relationships. You to complain about like, the car needs some new tires. Oh, we got to save up, we want to go on vacation here. And all whole time you give me pushback or why that may not make sense. Or I'm telling you how we got to save up to do this. Meanwhile, you got $22,000
sitting over somewhere. Your divorce
to spend
fund.
with another man. That is insane.
Not to spend with another man.
Because it ain't being spent with me.
Yes, you add some sprinkle on it.
It ain't being spent with me.
It's being spent with her. You introducing a whole nother man. Just because we get divorced don't mean I'm going to be with another guy.
All right. If you getting your hair done, you're attracting another man. If you get buying new clothes, those clothes is attracting another man.
Damn.
That $22,000
Damn.
ain't being involved in nothing that we are doing.
True.
Because it's being hidden from me.
Correct.
So there was no intention of me
Having
contributing or
anything to do
having
with
it
that.
or being
Yeah.
a recipient of that at all. She could have been like, I've been saving up to buy you something, baby.
Yeah. Or I'm saving for our retirement. Again, like you can say that it's for something that would make more sense to the relationship.
Yeah.
And I do think like sometimes we project what we would do if it were us with our money, and every married couple doesn't share income. Every married couple doesn't do that. So
Very true.
whatever your dynamic is, it should just be transparency.
There should be an
in it.
understanding.
Yes, like everybody should be being honest about that. That like, okay, some people have a joint account, but they only put in there their household expenses. They don't put all of their income in there. So if our mortgage is $2,000 and we say we're going to split it, only I put in $1,000, you put in $1,000, but my pay might have been $5,000.
Yeah.
The other $4,000 is mine, and I choose to do with that what I want. So whatever your financial dynamics are, again, these conversations we got to start having before we get married, before we move in with each other. These are the conversations. How do you see money in a marriage? Do you feel like once you get married, mine is yours and yours is mine? Oh, you don't feel that way? Tell me what you do feel like. Have the conversation so it's no surprises down the road.
Yeah. I mean, what she's doing is very close to embezzlement.
Yeah, girl, especially because, girl, you are
joint
literally
account?
taking it from the joint account.
And I saw I don't know if you saw a court thing. Did you send that to me?
The court thing.
Where a woman wanted child support, or she got her child support taken away or reduced?
No.
The man reduced, the child support got reduced. It was an interesting thing because the woman was like, basically the judge, it was a black judge, and it was a white lady and like a white man.
Yeah.
And essentially, like, the judge was asking questions and she was asking the woman, like, and the woman was answering very candidly and very transparent. But she was like, why do you want the child support? Like, the child support is already so high, you know, what's your reasoning for wanting to stay at where it's at? And she was like, well, I needed to take care of me. And then she was like, or she said, I needed to make sure I'm good. And if you've seen that, I might be paraphrasing a little bit. She was like, I needed to make sure I'm good. And she was like, why wouldn't you be good? And she was like, well, I don't work. And she was like, well, why don't you work or why don't you have a job? And she was like, because I get the child support and I don't need, with the amount that it has, I don't need to work. And basically she was going down this thing and the judge was like, okay, I'm reducing his child support.
Yep.
Because you acting like you don't need to work. Like, what do you mean?
What are you talking about?
Like, I'm good or I need this to be good. No, you're willing and able-bodied to work.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I saw
working.
this. It's like a judge show.
No, it might
It's
be.
a black
no,
young-
it was an actual court case.
Okay. Is the judge a woman, a younger woman?
It's a woman.
Yeah, I feel like I might have saw this.
But it reminds me of this. Is like, yo, she sounds like she don't work. Like, why wouldn't you be good?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be good?
Because a lot of people, not a lot, but there are some women who really do. This is like when people talk about celebrities and like they want to have a baby with a really wealthy man because the child support is based on his income usually, regardless of what the mom does or makes or what the child even necessarily like needs. Child support is based on whoever's being petitioned for it is based on their income. And so sometimes that is so high.
No, it is.
That a person can truly live off of that. That becomes like a salary. But child support is not spousal support. Child support is not alimony.
Not alimony.
No, it is to support the child. And I do think that some of the lines are blurred, right? If I'm housing the child, then naturally I'm housed in the same space. But that doesn't mean every household expense that you have in your home, I have to pay for because my kid lives there. Girl, no. I know I'm a woman that y'all would drag me for that, but
we could have a different question about a different conversation about child support because I do have some opinions on that.
It's abusive.
In the system.
Yes, it can be quite abusive.
For sure. But we wish that couple or any couples that are going through that type of situation all the best because marriage is supposed to be that full commitment. And if you're putting in a back door, if you're packing a parachute, then it never feels like you're truly ultimately all the way there and all the way invested. So that's the point of marriage. You take the time, you go through all the steps. Hopefully you go through premarital counseling, you make the commitments because you're saying this is the one.
Yeah.
And sometimes those things and those relationships fall apart, but That's just, part of things, but I don't think you'll ever truly feel great about something, especially a marriage, unless you put everything you got into it.
Absolutely. Finances has always been in the top 5 reasons for divorce.
It is. Communicate, as Rhonda and I always say.
Effectively.